Hello everyone, welcome back to AI Tech One. My name is Sumit, and today I'm here with my new video in Salesforce integration. So, if you are learning Salesforce integration or you will be preparing for the Salesforce developers interview, then this video is for you. Today we will be going to learn how do we generate a Salesforce Enterprise WSDL, how to import the WSDL into Postman. So in short, we are going to see that how do we consume WSDL and test it through Postman using Postman. We will be logging into Salesforce SOAP API, store the session ID, and then we'll execute the SOAP request like query, create, update, and delete records operation from Postman onto Salesforce using WSDL. So by the end of this video, you will be able to test the SOAP Salesforce SOAP API directly from Postman easily. So let's get started. And yes, if you are new to my channel, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also don't forget to press the bell icon so that you will not miss updates on my about my upcoming videos. So first of all, let's try to understand, or before we jump into the Postman, let's understand what WSDL actually is. So WSDL stands for Web Service Description Language. Now, what is a Web Service Description Language? Basically, it's an XML document that describes a SOAP web service. It provides all the details about the web services, such as available operations, input parameters, output parameters, data type, and the endpoint address. Uh, how actually this WSDL work? So the WSDL work, you can say the service provider, and we have a service consumer. So the service consumer wants to consume the service provided by the service provider. So what the service provider will do, the service provider will create a web service and publish the WSDL files to the it will provide the file to the consumer. And what the service consumer will do, the service consumer will read the WSDL file and consume the web service and perform the operation. And that WSDL file, it contains the services, operations, and other things. Now, as you can see, what exactly, so here I have explained what WSDL file contains. These are the services, these are the services WSDL file contains. And here are the users of WSDL for service discovery, for standard contract, automations and tool supports, integration and reusability. So once we define the WSDL file, the benefit is that the same WSDL file can be used by multiple clients to interact with the same web service. Normally in Salesforce, we have different type of WSDLs libraries, but today we're going to talk about Enterprise WSDL. Now, what is Enterprise WSDL file? How do we generate the Enterprise WSDL file? Let's have a look. So first of all, when I navigate to my Salesforce org, I will be using my developer edition. I click on setup, home, and here I click API. Now, when we click API, you can see I'm getting an option here called API WSDL, and here are the various WSDL files and the client certificate. But as I mentioned that today we're going to talk about only with the Enterprise WSDL. So here is my Enterprise WSDL option. So we click on Generate Enterprise WSDL, click on Generate button, and what it will do, it will generate one XML file. So we need to download and store that XML file as a WSDL with WSDL extension. So by the time my XML file gets generated, one more setting we have to enable, and that is we'll go to user interface. Don't forget to enable that setting. Otherwise, you will not be able to make a request from Postman to onto Salesforce using SOAP APIs. So navigate to setup home user interface, scroll down and enable SOAP API login. Make sure that this setting will be activated. This setting will be enabled. So I have already enabled this setting. Now let me go and check whether my XML file is ready or not to download. So you can see my XML file is ready and I'm going to save this file. So I'm going to save this file on my desktop as enterprise price.wsdl. So I set the extension as WSDL. I have already downloaded this file earlier, so that's why I replaced that one with the new one. So that's all we have done from the Salesforce. Now let's switch to Postman because we will be going to import this WSDL file in our Postman. That is our next step. That how do we import it into Postman and how to log in, how do we generate the access token, and then how do we use the access token and the URL in order to make a SOAP request onto Salesforce. So the first thing, I'm going to add a collection. So click import and select a file. So the file we have to select WSDL, enterprise WSDL, and open this. Now, when you upload a file, so what it will do, the Salesforce, when we import this WSDL XML file into Postman, so the Postman will automatically generate a collection. And in that collection, we will see the operations like login, query, create, update, delete, and so on. Yeah, so it will take some time to read that collection. You can see the collection is going to be added here, and you can see the collection added here successfully. If I expand this collection, you can see the operation like login operation will be there, create, update, upsert, merge, delete, empty, recycle bin. So in short, we can perform any operation onto Salesforce with the help of this API, this WSDL API. This. Now, what's the next step? So the first operation we will execute is login. So how do I do this? I click on login. As soon as I click on login, it will take me to this login option. You can see the base URL is login.salesforce.com. And what I have to do is I need to remove this ID and the version also. I'll set version, let's say 49.0. I'll quickly check the authorizations headers actually in content type text XML. Here I need to add SOAP action deploy. And then if you go to body, in body you can see a predefined code will be there. And if you check this code, if you scroll down, we have to provide here username and password. So what username, password? So username, our Salesforce username. So let me go and check my username. What's my username? So my username is this. That's my username. I provide my username here. I need to enter my password. So let me give my password. Yeah, that's my password. Now, along with the password, I need security token also. In order to generate security token, I'll get back to settings, go to personal settings, and here I'll say reset my security token. Click on reset security token, and it will generate a security token in my mailbox. So I'll quickly check my mailbox, and I have received a security token. So I'm going to copy that security token and paste it here. So I'll copy that security token which I received in my mail and I paste it along with this. That's all we have to do. Now let's test it. Anything else? No, nothing else. Let's test it now. When I click send, so you can see it's success. We are getting 200 OK. And in this 200 OK, we will be getting the server URL and the session ID. So we will be going to use these two information, server URL and session ID, in order to perform the further operations. Operations like if we want to create records or if we want to update records. So we will be going to use this. Now, the next is if I want to perform, let's suppose I want to query records. So here I just select query. Now the first thing is we have to change the base URL. It says so base URL. So I'll copy the base URL from here, https develop.salesforce.com. That will be my base URL. And I change my base URL here. So this becomes, now if you see this becomes org farm service / soap. ID is not needed. And this version I changed to 49.0. Header, content type, soap action. I'll keep it blank. We can keep it blank or we can keep it or we can keep it blank, or we can change this to query also, because I want to query, but I just leave it blank right now because I just wanted to query record. Now let's go to the body and we'll have to make some changes here. First of all, as you can see, there's a session ID. Now you can see the code is pretty big. There are so many informations here. So what I'm going to do is I will be going to customize this code. So what I'll do, I will remove this header. I'll just make the code simpler. Actually, the code is pretty big. Okay, so I'll just make this code simpler. Now we have to provide only the string here and the other details. So I'm going to do that. And how do we do this? Okay, one more thing I'm going to do here is the code which I will be going to use is, so let me copy paste my code. That's the code we are going to use. And here we have to provide our session ID. So session ID, which we received, which we received here. So I copy the session ID from here and paste it. Paste the session ID and the query. Select ID, comma name from account, and let's click on send. So as you can see, as soon as I click on send, I'm able to see the records and I can see account name. So here are my accounts. So basically I get a list of all the accounts here. Total, how many size? Total 36 records will be there. So in short, it returns 36 accounts to me right now. In same manner, if I want to create a record, so therefore we have create option. I click on post create. So base URL, we don't need to change now. It's already set. Go to header and soap action. Now we have to check the body. So for the body, what I'll do, let me copy the code from here. Not this one. That's a response. Yeah, I copy this code and paste it here. And paste it in create. Now this time what we need to do, we need to create a record. We need to create record into object. Right? We need to add record into object. Now, in order to create a record, what step we need to do is, let me just create, first of all, I'm going to replace this code with that one, and then we are going to see that. Or I have a ready to use code. I'll use that code only. I will change my session ID here. So again, I just copy the session ID and paste here, replace this. And in this, what I've done, I'm going to create a record into account. So I just give some details like account name, account phone, and website, and industry as technology. When we click send, so see the response 200. Okay, that means the record created successfully. Let's go and verify this. So let's go to account. And I say new this week and AITechone Private Limited. So just now we created an account called AITechone Private Limited. Like this way, we can create record. Now in same manner, if I want to update a record, okay, if I want to update record, so we have an update action. If I want to delete record, we have delete action. You can see we have delete operation, update, upsert, merge, delete, undelete, empty recycle bin. If you want to empty recycle bin, we have that command also. So that means all the operations will be available, all the options will be available here. Now, in order to update, what I have to do is, for example, if I want to update this account only, AITechone, and I would like to change the type. So what I'm going to do, I click on update and header, soap action blank, body. I'll copy this one, the one I added for the create. So that will get the session ID also. The only changes we are going to do is instead of URN create, I will use here update. URN update, URN update, and S object. And here we have to provide the fee. First of all, we need to provide the ID, the record ID. So we'll just say URN colon ID, URN colon ID slash URN colon ID. And here we have to provide the ID of the record. So I'll open AITechone Private Limited. Copy this record ID and paste it here. I'll paste the record ID. And now the field I want to update. So URN colon. I want to update type. So type. slash urn colon type. And the value I want to give, let's say prospect. I'll give prospect. That's all. Let's test it. I click send. 200. Okay, the record updated successfully. Let's check it out. Right now, the type is blank, but when we reload, let's see. When I reload this, you can see the type set to prospect. Interesting. And this works with 67 version also. If you leave it ID, that will also work. That's an organization ID, so that won't be a problem. If you want, we can remove that, else we can stick to that. That's not a problem. So like this way, we successfully perform the operation. We test the operations, WSDL operations or SOAP operations onto Salesforce using Postman with the help of WSDL libraries. Now, there might be some common errors which you may encounter, like wrong password, missing security token, or invalid login, or your session has expired. Okay, or maybe the SQL query contains syntax error or object API name. So we have to be very careful while while executing the commands. So that's it. So that's all in this tutorial. I hope this tutorial will help you to understand the Salesforce SOAP API integration using Postman. If you found this video helpful, like this video, comment if you have any questions, subscribe to the AITechone for more Salesforce tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Happy learning. Goodbye.